I understand the balance between having to get up a lot of threes, but I believe you can't tell you, Luka, or Austin Reeves don't play your game and take those shots in the mid-range, or just be you. Certain guys, though, you know what I'm saying, who need to rely on the system or the team, who can't create on their own, who can't create those shots on their own. They need to shoot more threes. So I remember we was in a game against Cleveland and George's Niang. He liked to talk a lot of shit. I love George's, but he talked a lot of shit. And he telling me, like, I hit a couple mid-ranges in a row. We down like 15. Like, you need to shoot more threes. I said, no, these dudes around me need to shoot more threes. I need to play my game. You know what I'm saying? Because if I get into this paint, and because y'all gonna collapse on this mid-range and I kick out to one of them, I'm expecting them to shoot the three, not dribble into a mid-range. Like, that don't make no sense. But
Kevin Wayne Durant. I've been following your career for a long time, brother, since 2006. Anybody's been watching my content, you know that I was raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. In the 2006 high school basketball class, the #1 player in the country was Greg Oden. He was from here, Indianapolis, Indiana, in Lawrence North High School, with his point guard, Mike Conley, who was the #1 point guard in that class. And KD, you were the #2 player in that class, which we heard you talk about a lot in so many different situations. And the first time I saw you was in that McDonald's All-American game. And the first thing that I noticed was how well you shot the mid-range. I remember specifically you pulling up at the nail and how long your arms were and how fluid you were. And that was the foundation for your game. And you have used that foundation and all the gifts that Jesus has given you to become one of the greatest players this game has ever seen. 15-time All-Star, 12-time All-NBA, one of the greatest players in USA basketball history, 2-time NBA champion, 2-time finals MVP, 1 regular season MVP, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And you're very active on social, which I love. A lot of people hate it. I enjoy it because we get to hear your thoughts. You're very authentic. You're very real. And this clip right here, we can see what type of player that you are. You have said that you want this to be your last team, and God has decided to send you to Houston, Texas. And Ime Udoka, your team is a 3-point heavy team. From 24 feet last year, 38.2% of Houston Rockets shots came from that area, 33% of Kevin Durant shots. But I want y'all to pay attention from the 8 to 16 feet range. That's what we consider the real mid-range. Last year, 13.9% of Houston's total shots came from that area, while 37.7% of KD's total shots came from the mid-range. Kevin has said that he wants to operate inside the mid-range, Ime. He wants to be in a heliocentric offense where the guys around him can hit open threes. And he's able to navigate that mid-range area and do whatever it is that he wants to do. So I broke it down the tape. I broke it down the tape of the Houston Rockets last year, and I broke it down the tape of Kevin Durant, you playing last year with the Phoenix Suns. And I give a lot of game in this video on how you can seamlessly integrate a guy that's a mid-range master, one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen, into a team that is very reliant on the three-point shot with the current personnel that you have. But Ime, that's up to you. You ain't got no excuses no more. We know what happened to you up in Boston. And now you down here in Houston, Texas. They've given you the tools. They've given you one of the best players we've ever seen. Are you going to be able to integrate him seamlessly inside of your offense and give him the opportunities he needs to help lead y'all to y'all first championship since 1995? Watch this entire video. I think it's going to help y'all a lot. And not just Ime and not just KD. For those of y'all that enjoy the content and you came by, you want to see what I got to talk about, I want you to watch this entire video. But before you do that, I need you to click like. I need you to click share. I need you to click subscribe. I need you to write in the comments who you would like me to break down next. And most importantly, I need you to watch this video all the way to the end.
My ducks, my swans, welcome to the pond.
Kevin Durant is one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen in the history of the NBA, and majority of his scoring comes from the mid-range. Houston, you do a phenomenal job with this right now, running actions, this pistol action right here, getting Jabari Smith an easy nail jump shot, and you've done this with Şengün as well. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. As you can see, KD, no matter what action you put him in, he is looking to get to the elbow, to the nail, or to the other elbow. Phoenix did a good job of giving him these shots, but I don't like the fact that they had him him coming downhill? Why not just start him off in those positions where you know that's where he wants to get those shots? And we're going to get into that right now.
With the lead.
Right here, we got Kevin Durant getting the ball screen, and he posts up in the pinch post. All 4 defenders are looking at him. We got Nurkic in the dunker spot with Beal and Booker on the weak side as shooters. As soon as KD catches this ball, look at what he does. He looks to his left driving lane. He looks to his right driving lane. See, they're both clear. Goes back left and pulls up for a shot that nobody in the NBA can block. Posting up Kevin Durant in the middle of the floor is a cheat code. He's very patient with making sure his cutter's clear through so he can get a driving lane. And once he gets to the bucket, he can finish over practically anybody, as we see him do it right here over Zubac. As a coach, you got to make sure you put him in this position. In this clip right here, Kevin Durant posts up at the top of the key again. Tyus Jones cuts through. Nurkic sets a weak side screen for him where he can even pull up for a 3 or come off for a dribble handoff. Look at Jimmy Butler. Kevin Durant's head is turned, and he's going to go over there and get that steal. KD senses it as peripheral, pulls up the opposite side. Turning these mid-range post-ups into Dirk fadeaways is something that Houston, you're already doing, as you see with Şengün right here. But now you have a guy that's practically unstoppable with this. So if I was you, I would post up Kevin Durant as much as you possibly can.
One leg step back.
Here we got KD posted up on the right block. And all young players, I want you to pay attention to this. You see how his chin is at his shoulder? He's doing that so he can survey the floor. He sees his open shooters, and he sees the best shot blocker in the NBA, Wemby, in a 2-9 situation. As soon as Wemby comes over and commits, look at Grayson Allen. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA, but he's not shot ready for a wide open 3. Why is he not shot ready? Because he's seen this movie before, and he knows what's about to happen.
As KD gets to that one-legged, lean back.
Houston, you're already doing this with Şengün. Post him up on the right block. He does a great job of finding open shooters from that area. Now you have a guy that's one of the most deadliest scorers in the history of the NBA that's going to be doing the exact same thing. I love this sideline out of bounds play right here. Devin Booker comes up and sets a back screen. KD shuffle cuts off this screen as LeBron is gripping him with 2 hands. Look at KD as soon as he catches this on the switch. It's all one motion. Catch into a corner fade. That's an unstoppable and unblockable shot. KD has exceptionally high basketball IQ, so I think there will be a slight adjustment that's going to need to be made. He's used to posting up and immediately looking to score. He's going to have an opportunity to playmate with y'all because y'all already doing this with Şengün. He catches the ball in the pinch post. Once he does this, you're going to see Ime Thompson come over and set this ghost screen and slip as Fred VanVleet gets over to that left side wing. Once Ime Thompson cuts, James Harden tags, and now Şengün has 2 options. He can throw to the corner or he can get out to Fred VanVleet. He fakes, shifts to defense, get out to Fred VanVleet, bang.
Rockets bench on Wednesday. 3 goes down for Fred VanVleet.
Another option y'all gonna be able to have with KD is once he catches it in these areas at the top of the key, he's going to be able to score at the basket if you want to get an easy shot. But you have Şengün for that. He can get these deep posts and these deep seals, and you ain't got to worry about KD having to bang his body in there. A KD Şengün high-low is going to be unstoppable. Here's a variation of that high-low that Phoenix didn't really execute on, but I feel like Houston, y'all have the opportunity to. I think KD's the most dangerous when he sets screens. He sets this screen for Bradley Beal, he slips to the nail, and because there's a shooter deep, D'Angelo Russell can't take that pass away. As soon as KD catches the ball, you see Plumlee comes from the dunker spot, and that could be a high-low lob at the rim. But because KD is such an efficient scorer and he's in a scoring mentality with the Phoenix Suns, he does the easy money sniper bucket.
This season as Durant.
Here's another example how KD will enhance Houston's already efficient offense. Jabari Smith sets a great screen for Jalen Green, which allows them to put Donovan Clingan in a 2-on-1 situation. Replace Jabari Smith with Kevin Durant, and you'll see that Jalen Green makes the right read. Jabari Smith gets the wide open look. He just can't hit that. With KD, that's automatic. Having one of the best scorers ever as your screener is a cheat code. Here we got Kevin Durant screening the 5's defender as Devin Booker is going to come off of this dribble handoff. Once Devin Booker comes off of this dribble handoff, KD rescreens the 5's defender, who is now in drop coverage. This forces Luka Doncic, the worst defender on the floor, to have to step up. KD's going to pop out where he has a wide open 3. And everybody else in the NBA, that shot's going up. But KD knows Luka's closing out. He ain't going to be able to keep up with him. And this is Kevin Durant. The game is just too easy. Watch what he does.
Dallas looking for payback. Durant right downhill.
KD doesn't pass up these threes because he can't hit them. It's just a matter if he wants to or not. And Ime, it's up to you to let him know what kind of offensive pressure that you want to provide. Are we getting to the rim? We shooting threes? We shooting mid-range? Let him know, because he has the buffet of all the offensive skills, especially coming off of screens. Here he is setting a screen for Tyus Jones. Highsmith goes under. KD gets the ball, and I love this 1-4 formation. He makes sure everybody cuts through. He can drive to the left. He can drive to the right. But what does he decide to do? He takes the worst shot in basketball, a contested long two. But because it's KD, it's automatic.
Highsmith. Boom!
I believe we are entering into the era now where the mid-range is where all the offense is about to initiate, or at least a lot of offense is going to initiate. And when you have a superstar that can score in that area, you have to utilize that, because it's just so dangerous because you can score at so many different levels. Here's KD setting another screen, and he's going to pop immediately to the nail. Once he gets to the nail, he can take a contested two. You know, he can kick it to his shooters over here with Devin Booker and Royce O'Neal, who are wide open on that backside. But you look at the time and score, he wants to put pressure on the rim. That's exactly what he does. Draws a foul on James Harden and gets an and one.
Foul on Harden. A chance at a three-point play.
It was easy for me to come off a pin down. It's hard for me to have to dribble through 3 or 4 guys and pull up over 2 dudes with a fadeaway. Like like you said, we want to be efficient. Playing off your team, man, that's the easiest way to be efficient. I was getting more backdoor cuts, more transition layups on top of the ISOs, on top of the catch and shoot 3. So my game was way more well-rounded in scoring, and it was easier, and I'm way more efficient that way. But I always knew how to play with my teammates, play off my teammates. And the art of scoring is getting the easy points. I always knew that, especially in transition.
I feel the most underutilized action in basketball right now is a pin down that leads into a curl. It's easy, it's simple, and it's very, very efficient, especially when you got Kevin Durant. Grayson Allen's going to set a pin down for KD. I would love for Grayson to pop out to the right wing afterwards, because he's a great three-point shooter. You got another pretty decent three-point shooter, Royce O'Neal, in the left corner. You got Plumlee on the backside on that right corner, giving you that 4-out, 1-in spacing that every coach wants. But instead of a post-up, you get a wide-open jumper. And one of the primary reasons I feel like the pin down is so underutilized and it needs to be used a lot more is because of the counters that come off of it. Here we are in a Horns formation. Tyus Jones gives Plumlee the pinch post entry. He's going to come set a pin down for KD. KD fakes it and gets a wide open dunk. Pin downs with Kevin Durant are nearly unstoppable to guard, because when the pin down is set, you have the top lock, but because he's 7 foot, you can throw it right over the top and he gets a wide open dunk at the rim. You're already running these for Jabari Smith. Let's crank it up a notch with KD. One of the worst things I saw the Suns do with Kevin Durant last year was have him score in these ISO situations. He said he doesn't want to work this hard. No great scorer does. Who wants to dribble 4, 5, 6, 7 times when I can just post up and shoot over whoever I want? Let's get away from this.
No good.
And I understand why coaches want players to ISO like this. You can do it off of ball screens. You get into this 1-4 formation like we talked about before. But the thing about Kevin Durant, he is way more effective on a 1-4 formation off of a post-up and a catch as opposed to dribbling like this. I mean, in this situation, the entire defense is looking at him. He has to go right into the teeth of the defense. Probably should have passed this off to Bradley Beal, but because he was forced to score so much in Phoenix, he takes a contested jump shot.
Contested 18-footer.
The idea that a scorer of this caliber has to be able to catch the ball from the three-point line extended and get into an ISO situation to get a clean shot is just ridiculous. I would have loved for him to just rip here and go to the short corner on the left-hand side, but he doesn't do that. He drives right to the teeth of the defense, brings the defender with him, and now it's 3 guys over there. The right play probably would have been to throw it out top, but since he's so close to the basket, that's a shot he can hit. He pulls up for it. But because he had to work so hard, he bricked it.
In the first half.
No matter where the offense initially begins, KD is trying to score from the same areas of the floor. So why not just have him start in those areas of the floor? This man's approaching 40 years old. He doesn't need to dribble 5, 6 times to get these shots.
As KD on the drive down the lane, too strong with that one.
And this usually happens because they're making him the ball handler on the pick and roll. He doesn't need to do that. Even in the Spain action, one of my favorite actions in all of basketball, we do not need Kevin Durant bring the ball up the court and being a primary ball handler, especially with all the guards that y'all got in Houston. And here we are, the big switch is on him. Anybody that's used to be the primary ball handler, they would go to the right and lay it up because Steph Castle's not going to help off with Devin Booker. But where does KD go? His favorite spot's on the floor, but he had to work too hard.
Gets into Johnson with a pull-up.
Here he is getting this dribble handoff right into a ball screen. Anybody that's used to this action who's a primary ball handler, they're going to sprint coming downhill off his screener's back and pull up for that nailed jump shot. He resets and then comes off, and this allows the defense to come up a level, takes away the wing three. The corner three probably is open, but now you're turning him into a decision maker. He's a natural scorer. He doesn't shoot this with confidence, and it bricks.
Here's that 18-foot spot.
Kevin, you're an exceptionally smart basketball player, but we don't need you making decisions. We need you scoring the ball. We don't need him initiating the offense all the way at half court and getting a screen at the logo. We need him at the pinch post or at the nail getting that entry pass. Because when he does this, all the defense is staring at him and looking at him, and he's exerting way too much energy. Let's make the game easy for one of the greatest scorers of all time. I'm out the pond. Y'all stay true.